July, the so-called ghost month. Folks used to say, throw this item out right away or risk sickness, financial ruin, and endless misfortune for the whole family. Sounds scary, right? But these aren't just old superstitions. Both tradition and Buddhist teachings remind us again and again. During the 7th lunar month, even one careless mistake, bringing the wrong object into your home, can invite a streak of bad luck that turns a peaceful household upside down. Ancient people called it the month when the gates of hell open. They believed restless spirits wandered freely, and the barrier between the living and the dead was at its thinnest. If your home carried strong, bright energy, your family stayed safe. But if you accidentally brought in something linked to the spirit world, you were basically rolling out the welcome mat for trouble. And here's the thing, I'm not here just to spook you. If you stick with me, I'll show you 5 specific items you should never buy during Ghost Month. And just as important, the ways to clear that negative energy so your family stays protected and your fortune doesn't slip away. Think about it. Every year around this time, don't you notice families suddenly quarreling more, kids falling sick, businesses running into roadblocks, or money mysteriously draining away? Many chalk it up to bad luck, but often the root cause is right inside the house. Objects that shouldn't be there in Ghost Month. A stack of paper clothes meant for offerings, bundles of spirit money waiting to be burned, an old mirror that reflects heavy energy, or even a lifeless doll sitting in a dark corner. All of these can act like open doors, letting harmful energy slip in. In Feng Shui, this is called inviting the yin inside the home, a disruption that cuts off the life force your family depends on. There's an old saying, a clean house feels cool. A clean bowl makes rice taste better. It's not only about hygiene, it's about keeping your living space pure so that uplifting energy can thrive. Any object tied to death, separation, or the afterlife needs to be avoided. Period. Buddhism teaches the same truth. Everything begins with the mind. If your heart is calm and clear, your surroundings will be peaceful. But if your heart is clouded, dark forces tend to follow. Keeping your home free of these forbidden items isn't blind superstition. It's about creating a space where your body, mind, and family can flourish. People usually remember the common Ghost Month warnings. Don't wander alone late at night. Don't call each other's names in deserted places. Don't leave laundry out under the moonlight. But here's what most overlook. The real danger often comes from what you bring back into your home. One family stocked up on spirit money early in the month. Before they even used it, their kids kept falling sick, arguments broke out, and their small business collapsed. Another bought new knives during Ghost Month, and from then on, family disputes and health problems piled up. Coincidence? Or the direct result of cause and effect, energy and imbalance? Ask yourself, if your home happens to hold one of these 5 items, could that be the hidden source of stress, quarrels, or financial loss? Ever wonder why old sayings advise buy salt at New Year, buy lime at year's end, but never recommend buying knives or second-hand mirrors in Ghost Month? These customs were born from centuries of lived experience, and Buddhism makes it crystal clear. Whatever seeds you plant, you reap the fruits. Keep your home pure, avoid the forbidden, and you're planting the seeds of peace for your family. So in this video, we'll break down each forbidden item. Not to scare you, but to share the lessons of tradition, Feng Shui, and Buddhist wisdom. The 5 items are paper clothing for the dead, stored spirit money, sharp new knives or scissors, old mirrors, and lifeless dolls or human-shaped figurines without owners. Simple as they may sound, the hidden meaning behind each one explains why they drain the life energy from your home. And don't worry, I'll also share how to fix things if you've already bought or kept any of these items. The goal isn't fear. The goal is clarity. When your mind is at peace, you avoid pointless hoarding, honor your faith and ancestors, and live in harmony with life's deeper truths. With that mindset, blessings naturally follow. So, are you curious to know what the first forbidden object is, and why simply having it in your home during Ghost Month could bring tension, sickness, and unrest? Let's begin with the very first one: paper clothing for the dead. If you walk through the markets during Ghost Month, you'll see stalls overflowing with paper goods made for the dead, silk robes, fancy shoes, even paper iPhones and cars. The sellers will tell you, buy these and burn them for your loved ones in the afterlife. They'll receive them and bless you in return. Sounds comforting, doesn't it? But here's the twist. These paper clothes are actually one of the most forbidden things to bring into your home during Ghost Month. Why? First, you have to understand what they are. Paper clothes aren't meant for the living. They're made with a single purpose: to be burned and sent to the spirit world. They belong to the dead. When you buy them and keep them inside your home, you're basically opening a door for wandering spirits, signaling, "This is for you." That mistake unsettles the energy in your house, replacing warmth with unease, and opening the way for family troubles. The old folks used to say, "Never store what belongs to the spirits." Items tied to the afterlife should only appear at the right time, in the right ritual, not inside a living household. There are plenty of stories about families who tried to save money by stocking up on paper clothes early, only to be plagued with trouble while storing them. Kids crying through the night, fathers losing money in business, mothers falling ill. Only after taking those paper goods out and burning them did life return to normal. Coincidence? Or the natural consequence of bringing death energy into the living space? From a feng shui perspective, paper clothes carry the vibration of death. And in Ghost Month, when the gates of hell are open, that energy is stronger than ever. Anything linked to the dead can act like a magnet, drawing restless spirits closer. Keep it in your house, and it produces cold, heavy energy that disrupts the positive life force you need for health, wealth, and harmony. Even modern science, though it doesn't speak in terms of yin and yang, points to something similar. Objects that make people uneasy can disturb sleep, heighten anxiety, and even weaken physical health. Buddhism also offers a clear answer. Burning paper clothes was never part of original Buddhist practice. It's a folk custom. The Buddha taught that the dead don't benefit from paper offerings. What truly helps them is your sincerity, chanting, acts of charity, and dedicating merit. Bringing paper clothes into your home doesn't aid your ancestors. It just stirs up more unrest. As the Buddha said, clinging to what does not belong to you only brings suffering. Paper clothes are meant to be burned, not hoarded. Keeping them at home is clinging to illusion, and illusion breeds chaos. Think about it. A home is where children laugh and play, where parents rest after long days, where family bonds grow strong. If that space is also storing clothes meant for the dead, aren't you slowly turning your living sanctuary into a warehouse for death energy? Over time, that weighs on the family. More arguments, quick tempers, fading health, financial strain. Things may look random from the outside, but many troubles trace back to what we allow inside our walls. The elders warned, never keep the dead's belongings in your home, and never let unclean things sit in your kitchen. These weren't empty superstitions. They were hard-earned lessons passed down through generations. So, if you truly wish to make paper offerings during Ghost Month, buy them on the day of the ritual only. Perform your prayers, burn them immediately outdoors, and never store them inside your home. That way, you keep tradition alive without inviting dark energy where your family lives. Most importantly, peace doesn't come from paper clothes or ghost money. It comes from kindness, from gratitude, from living with a clear heart. And if you practice filial piety, do good deeds, and pray sincerely, your departed loved ones will receive blessings, whether or not you burn a single sheet of paper. But if greed, anger, and ignorance remain in your heart, no amount of paper offerings will help. So let me ask you, in your hometown, do people still stock up on paper clothes and keep them inside their homes? And if you've ever seen a family face hardship after storing these items, do you believe it was just chance? Or proof of the old saying, never bring the things of the dead into the land of the living? During Ghost Month, a lot of families head to the market and stock up on piles of paper offerings, stacks of spirit money, paper horses, even entire paper houses. Then keep them in the house until the big ceremony on the 15th day. They think it's convenient. They won't forget. Or maybe they'll get a better price before the rush. Seems harmless, right? But this habit, storing spirit money at home, is actually the second big taboo of Ghost Month. Think about it. Spirit money isn't for the living. It's symbolic currency for the dead. Its only purpose is to be burned. When you pile it up in your home for weeks, sometimes months, you're turning a space meant for life and vitality into a storage room for the underworld. In Feng Shui, this is called collecting yin energy in the home, basically concentrating death energy where your family eats, sleeps, and lives. That weakens your home's life force and leaves cracks for wandering spirits to slip in, mistaking your house as their lodging. And there are plenty of real-life stories to back this up. One well-off family in Hanoi bought stacks of spirit money every year and left them sitting in the corner of their living room until the ritual day. Strangely, every Ghost Month their business slowed down, money drained, their kids fell sick, and one year the father even survived a near-fatal accident. A local monk finally advised them to stop storing the paper offerings inside. They burned what they had early, stopped stockpiling, and soon after, their life started flowing smoothly again. Coincidence? Or a reminder of cause and effect? Buddhism makes it clear. Burning paper offerings isn't a core teaching. The Buddha taught that the dead are helped through the living's sincerity, through prayers, good deeds, and dedication of merit, not through paper. When you overbuy and stash piles of it in your home, that's not devotion. That's greed disguised as faith. And greed, as always, becomes the seed of misfortune. From a feng shui perspective, spirit money carries both wood, its paper from trees, and fire. Its purpose is to burn. When you keep it sitting in the house, the wood energy stagnates like dead trees, and the fire energy is smothered, creating blockages and hidden tension. That's why families who hoard spirit money often see stalled business, constant stress, and family discord. On the level of karma, greed is always the root. There's an old saying, fire tests gold, hardship tests strength, and spirit money tests the heart. The point is, offerings should be just enough, not excessive. Buying more and more, filling your home, with the hope that the bigger the fire, the bigger the blessing. That's nothing but attachment. And attachment always drains your fortune. As the Buddha said, clinging to useless possessions is worth less than holding on to a pure mind. So what's the right way? Simple. If you plan to make offerings, only buy what you need on the actual day. Burn it outdoors immediately after the ceremony. Never bring leftovers back into the house. And if you've already bought too early, take it out of the home. Keep it somewhere clean, away from the family living space. Don't hang on to it, because every sheet left behind can act like a string tying your home to the energy of the dead. Some people worry, if I don't keep lots of spirit money at home, will I look unfilial to my ancestors? Absolutely not. Respect isn't measured in piles of paper. It's measured in sincerity. A single stick of incense, a glass of clean water, a heartfelt prayer, or one good deed done in their name means far more than boxes of paper offerings gathering dust in your living room. What about in your hometown? Do people still stockpile spirit money before the ceremonies? And do you believe those stacks of paper could be the hidden reason for sickness, financial loss, and unrest in a household? Forbidden item number 3, knives and sharp objects. Now let's move on to the third forbidden item, knives, scissors, and anything sharp. In daily life, these tools are normal, even essential. Cooking, cutting, daily chores. But during Ghost Month, new knives or sharp tools brought into the home become dangerous symbols. Why? Because knives carry a powerful energy of cutting and separation. They represent division, even violence. And when Ghost Month already brings an abundance of heavy yin energy, adding sharp objects amplifies that destructive force, cutting off the life energy in your household. The old saying goes, when killing energy enters the home, the family loses peace. In other words, too many sharp objects in the wrong time invite conflict. Constant arguments, fading health, financial setbacks. That's why the ancients warned against buying or bringing in new blades during this month. Plenty of families have experienced this firsthand. One woman shared how she bought a discounted set of brand new knives at the supermarket during Ghost Month. From the day she brought them home, her marriage felt strained. Arguments grew, the kids got harder to handle, and the whole household seemed unsettled. Another family purchased a large pair of scissors to start a small tailoring business, but because it was during Ghost Month, the shop sat empty, unsold stock piled up, and debt began to mount. Some even reported accidents, injured by the very blades they had just purchased. Was that all coincidence, or proof of why tradition warns us to avoid such purchases in the 7th lunar month? Feng Shui explains it this way. Knives and scissors belong to the metal element. Metal is sharp and forceful by nature. During Ghost Month, when yin energy is already at its peak, new blades intensify destructive energy, turning into what's called cutting energy. That force can cut wealth, cut harmony between spouses, even cut health, transforming a once warm home into one of coldness and conflict. From the lens of karma, blades also carry the symbolism of killing. And Ghost Month isn't just any month, it's Vu Lan, the Buddhist season of filial piety, compassion, and releasing life. Bringing in sharp objects that hint at harm during this sacred time is like planting seeds of unrest. The Buddha taught, all separation begins with a single, unwholesome thought. Knives serve people in daily life, but brought in at the wrong time, they become reminders of division, of families splitting, of hearts turning against one another. Old Vietnamese wisdom warns, when sharpness dominates, love wears thin. That's why many households still avoid buying blades in July, choosing other months of the year to reduce risk. But what if you really have no choice? The elders pass down remedies. New blades should be rinsed with salt water or boiled mugwort before use. Salt represents purity, cleansing away harmful energy. Mugwort is a traditional herb believed to drive out dark forces. Once cleansed, the blades should be stored discreetly, never left out in plain view, and never pointed toward the front door or bedrooms, which would be like directing killing energy straight into your family. You might be thinking, come on, they're just a couple of knives and scissors. Could it really be that serious? But remember, in the month when yin energy is strongest, even small symbols of separation can amplify negative forces. Knives may be small, but in spiritual and feng shui understanding, they are cutting tools. And once something cuts, it can cut relationships, wealth, and peace of mind. What do you think? Does this taboo make sense? In your hometown, do people avoid buying knives and scissors during Ghost Month? And if you had to buy them, would you try the traditional remedy, washing them with salt water to neutralize the energy? Forbidden item number 4, old mirrors and reflective objects. If knives symbolize cutting and division, then old mirrors, cracked glass, and worn reflective objects carry something different: dark reflection. For centuries, people believed mirrors were two-way doors, able to reflect not just the living, but also wandering spirits. And during Ghost Month, when the gates of the underworld are said to open, keeping old or damaged mirrors in the home is like unknowingly propping that door wide open for restless souls. There are countless eerie tales about mirrors. In one northern village, a family hung an old mirror directly facing their front door. That Ghost Month, strange things happened. Footsteps at night when no one was there. Children waking in terror. Adults constantly tired and unlucky in business. When a monk visited, he pointed straight at the mirror and said, "The gate is open, and this mirror is the passage." Only after they removed it and performed a cleansing ritual did the disturbances fade away. Could a single old mirror really cause that much chaos? Many believe it can. Feng Shui explains, mirrors hold powerful energy. When new and clear, placed correctly, they expand space, double the light, and boost the positive energy of a home. But when old, cracked, or cloudy, they multiply darkness, amplifying yin energy. In Ghost Month, when that energy is already strong, an old mirror can become a literal portal, pulling harmful forces inside, draining fortune and disturbing the family's peace. Buddhism often uses the metaphor, the mind is like a clear mirror. A bright mirror symbolizes wisdom, reflecting truth clearly. A tarnished or broken mirror, by contrast, symbolizes a clouded mind, where dark influences creep in. A home is no different. A clear, well-placed mirror strengthens clarity. But an old or damaged mirror in Ghost Month is seen as a foothold for unrest. That's why people avoided looking into mirrors at midnight, especially in July. The belief was that at that hour, when the boundary between worlds was thin, mirrors could reflect not only your own face, but also faces that didn't belong. That warning fueled generations of ghost stories about seeing strangers in the mirror at night. So, what should you do? First, never keep cracked or broken mirrors in the home. This is a rule not just for Ghost Month, but year-round. If you must replace a mirror in July, don't bring the old one back inside. Never let a mirror directly face your front door or bedroom. And if you happen to have an old one you can't discard, wrap it securely and store it far from daily living spaces. Some households even cleanse their mirrors with salt water or herbal washes, like grapefruit leaves or mugwort, to neutralize negative energy. In many temples, you'll notice the mirrors are spotless, polished often, never cracked. That's not just good housekeeping. It's a reminder. When the mirror is bright, the mind is bright and life looks bright. When the mirror is broken, the mind is scattered and dark forces creep in. Keeping your mirrors clear is another way of keeping your family at peace. So tell me, where you're from. Did anyone ever warn you not to look in a mirror at night, especially during Ghost Month? Do you believe an old mirror can act like an invisible doorway for wandering spirits? Forbidden item number 5. Unowned dolls. Human-shaped figurines. Of the 5 big no-nos for Ghost Month, this one surprises a lot of people. Dolls, human-shaped figures, or mannequins, especially if they're ownerless, damaged, or brought home at the wrong time. Most folks assume they're harmless toys or decor. But in folk belief and feng shui, anything shaped like a person, but without a living soul, can act as a vessel, a place where roaming spirits might try to settle. For centuries, people believed human effigies could hold spiritual energy. Why else would ancient rituals use stand-in figures to absorb misfortune on someone's behalf? That special link with the unseen is exactly why, during Ghost Month, these look-alike forms can be borrowed by wandering souls, turning into little pockets of yin energy inside your home. Leave them there long enough, and you may see the signs. Sleepless, fussy children, anxious adults, rising arguments for no clear reason. There's a well-known story. A family bought a Japanese doll to decorate the living room, right in Ghost Month. At first, everyone admired it. Soon, strange things began. Tiny footsteps at night, the doll appearing in a different spot, kids waking up shrieking and pointing at it. A local monk said, "In Ghost Month, an unowned doll is easy for a spirit to borrow. Take it to the temple and release it." They did, and the disturbances stopped. Feng Shui sees dolls and human-shaped figures as containers for man-made energy. In an ordinary month, a new, clean doll with no bad history is usually fine. But when a doll is old, broken, or brought home in Ghost Month, it can become a bridge to the spirit world. Because it resembles a person, it blurs the boundary between yang, living, and yin, the unseen, inviting confusion and sometimes intrusion. The riskiest of all. A discarded doll picked up off the street during Ghost Month. Elders call that a yin-owned object, meaning it's already bonded with another energy. Taking it home is basically inviting an unknown spirit in. Buddhist teaching echoes the warning. Grasping what isn't yours plants unwholesome seeds. Picking up someone else's throwaway, especially a doll or human figure, springs from a grasping mind, and grasping opens the door to suffering. In Ghost Month, that door swings wider and karma ripens faster. How to handle it? If you have old dolls, especially damaged ones, missing heads, torn limbs, discard them or bring them to a temple to be properly released. Don't keep them in bedrooms or the main living room. If you must keep dolls for the kids, clean them regularly and store them in bright, open places, never in dark, damp corners. Religious figures are different. Statues of the Buddha or saints are sacred and should be placed with reverence, not treated as ownerless figurines. But generic, human-shaped decor of unknown origin. Avoid bringing those home in Ghost Month. And what about ordinary children's dolls you plan to buy? If possible, buy them in another month. Children's yang energy is gentler and more impressionable. A poorly timed purchase can have outsized effects on their mood and sleep. The elders said, "A clean home stays warm, a clear mind stays calm." Clean isn't only dusting and mopping. It's also avoiding objects that collect yin energy, small as they are. Dolls and human figures can become hangouts for wandering spirits. In Ghost Month, caution is kindness to yourself and your family. Do you think this taboo makes sense? Where you're from, are there spooky stories about playing with dolls in Ghost Month? Share them. These tales hold the wisdom of generations. Why? These 5 items. invite yin energy, drain fortune, and disturb the home. We've now covered all 5. Paper clothing for the dead, stockpiled spirit money, knives and sharp tools, old mirrors/reflective objects, and unowned dolls/figurines. Notice the common thread. Each item is either tied to death, separation, or shadow, or it easily becomes a gathering point for wandering spirits. That's exactly why they're risky in Ghost Month, when yin energy is already blanketing the world. Elders called it the month the gates of hell open. From the 2nd to the 14th day, the gate is said to be wide, and only after the full moon does it begin to close. In that window, yang weakens, yin strengthens, and the boundary thins. If your home already holds yin-leaning objects, you're adding fuel to the fire, giving negative currents a place to land. Let's break down the shared logic. Paper clothes, spirit money. They belong to the spirit world and are meant to be burned. Storing them at home turns your living space into a warehouse for the dead, collecting yin energy and unsettling the household. Knives, sharp tools. They symbolize cutting and conflict. In Ghost Month, they act like invisible blades, cutting wealth, harmony, even health. So families see more arguments and money seems to leak away. Old mirrors, cracked glass mirrors, are doorways of reflection. When clear, they double the light. When cloudy or broken, they double the darkness. In Ghost Month, damaged mirrors can become literal passageways for spirits to slip in and out. Dolls and unowned figurines. Shaped like humans but without a soul, dolls and abandoned figurines are empty shells. They easily become vessels for wandering spirits to occupy, disturbing children's sleep, draining adults' energy, and stirring tension in the household. The common thread. All 5 forbidden objects share one trait. They weaken the home's life force, its yang energy. Yang is light, warmth, vitality, the energy that keeps a family thriving. When yang grows weak, yin rushes in. The result: sickness, restless kids, marital conflict, business failures, money slipping away. Feng Shui compares a household to a river. Yang energy is the clean, flowing water that nourishes life. Yin energy is mud and weeds. When the current is strong, it sweeps away the debris and everything prospers. But fill the river with heavy yin-charged objects, and it's like dumping sludge into the stream. The water turns murky, the flow clogs, life withers. Buddhist teaching goes deeper. Misfortune doesn't begin with the objects themselves. It begins with attachment and greed. We hoard paper offerings out of fear, buy knives because they're on sale, keep old mirrors out of stinginess, pick up abandoned dolls because they look pretty. All of it comes from tanha, craving. The Buddha warned, a single greedy thought opens the door to demons. A single wholesome thought opens the door to the Buddha. Ghost Month simply magnifies this truth. Hold on to items of the underworld, and you sow seeds of unrest. Let go, and you sow seeds of peace. The elders had a saying, holding the wrong object is like holding hot coals. Sooner or later, you'll get burned. And that's exactly what these 5 forbidden items are. Hot coals. They may seem harmless at first, but the longer you keep them, the more damage they do. Have you ever known a family that seemed plagued by bad luck? Kids crying, constant illnesses, endless arguments, only to realize they kept one of these items in their home. Which of the 5 do you think is most dangerous to family peace? Lesson from karma. Why greed, anger, and ignorance invite misfortune. When people hear about the forbidden 5, they often dismiss them as folklore, just old wives' tales. But if you look through the lens of karma and Buddhist wisdom, the real danger doesn't lie in the objects themselves. It lies in the state of mind that keeps them. Greed, anger, and ignorance are the three poisons that open the door for trouble. Think about it. Paper clothes and piles of spirit money. Why do we keep them? Out of greed, thinking the more we burn, the more blessings we'll get. Knives bought in July. Why? Greed for a bargain. Grabbing the sale without waiting. Old mirrors and abandoned dolls. Why keep them? Greed in the form of attachment. Too stingy to throw out, or too tempted to pick up what's not ours. The Buddha said, "Greed is the fire that burns away merit." By clinging to what we don't need, we unknowingly invite heavy energy into our homes. And it's not only greed, it's also anger. A cracked mirror warps our reflection, amplifying irritation in someone already quick to anger. Sharp blades lying around spark conflict in families where tempers already flare. These objects don't create anger, but they feed it. Then comes ignorance. People who pick up discarded dolls thinking they're harmless toys, unaware that they're perfect vessels for wandering souls. Families who believe storing more spirit money makes ancestors wealthier, not realizing that the Buddha taught merit comes only from sincere prayer and good deeds. Ignorance blinds us to truth, and superstition fills the gap. In Buddhist scripture, greed, anger, and ignorance are called the three great fires. A house that stores yin-charged objects in Ghost Month is like a pile of dry wood. When the flames of those poisons ignite, they burn through peace, prosperity, and health. The elders said, "Don't keep what belongs to the dead. Don't covet what belongs to the living." A reminder not to cling to what isn't ours, not to fill our homes with objects of the underworld. Greed makes us hoard. Anger makes us misuse. Ignorance makes us trust the wrong things. Together, they throw open the door to misfortune. The Buddha taught, when the mind arises, the world arises. When the mind ceases, the world ceases. If the heart is pure, even a humble home is peaceful. If the heart is clouded, even a mansion feels cursed. Ghost Month isn't dangerous in itself. The danger comes when people fail to guard their hearts and instead cling to things they don't need. So maybe the real question isn't whether the objects are cursed. It's whether our mindset is. What do you think? Are family troubles caused more by the objects themselves or by the mind that chooses to keep them? And among greed, anger, and ignorance, which one is hardest to let go of? Next up, we'll turn to feng shui and tradition. Why a home must stay bright, clean, and full of yang energy in Ghost Month, and what happens if it slips into darkness. In Buddhist teaching, there's a simple truth. When the mind is bright, the world is bright. When the mind is dark, the world is dark. Your home is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the mind of its owner. When the heart is clear and compassionate, the home feels light-filled, warm, and full of life force. But when the heart clings to greed, anger, and selfishness, the home becomes gloomy, cold, and heavy. The old saying, "A clean house feels cool, a clean bowl makes rice taste better," carries the same meaning. Outer order reflects inner clarity. And the proof is everywhere. Families who let their homes stay cluttered, laundry piled up, broken mirrors left hanging, old junk never thrown away, often feel restless in Ghost Month. Business slows, people get sick, tension rises. Meanwhile, families who clean open the windows to let in sunlight, light incense, and pray for peace. Find that even in the heaviest yin month of the year, life flows more smoothly. So the reminder is simple. Keep your home bright, clean, and airy. Throw away cracked mirrors, broken knives, stored spirit money, and abandoned dolls. Open your doors to the morning sun. Light a lamp in the evening. Burn sandalwood or incense. Play gentle Buddhist chants. These small acts don't just freshen the air. They feed your home with yang energy, the strongest shield against restless spirits in Ghost Month. Do you agree your home reflects your heart? When your home is dark and messy, do you feel heavier inside too? And this July, have you already cleaned, opened the windows, and brought light back into your space? How to fix it if you already have one of the 5 forbidden items? Many families hear about these 5 taboos and suddenly realize, wait, we have paper clothes stored for the full moon, or I just bought a new knife set in July. Some even have old dolls sitting around, never thinking twice. Should you be afraid? No. Fear isn't the answer, but you should know how to correct it. As Buddhism teaches, all things arise from conditions. Once you see the mistake, correcting it becomes a blessing. Paper clothes, spirit money. If you've been storing them, take them out during this month. Choose an auspicious day, the 2nd, 15th, or 30th, and perform a small outdoor ritual. Burn them with a sincere prayer. I offer these to the wandering souls. May you all find peace and release. What matters most is not keeping them in the house, because the longer they sit, the heavier the energy. Knives, sharp objects. If you had to buy them, cleanse them first. Wash with salt water or boil mugwort before using. Salt symbolizes purity, cleansing away harmful energy. Mugwort has long been believed to ward off spirits. And never store blades pointing at the front door or a bedroom. It's like aiming hostile energy at your family. If you bought them already, keep them in the kitchen, where the fire element balances the sharpness of metal. Old mirrors, reflective objects. The Feng Shui rule is clear. Cracked mirrors must go. If you can't part with them, wrap them in red cloth and discard them properly outside, never in the home. Old but intact mirrors can be cleansed with grapefruit leaf water or diluted salt water, then placed in bright areas, never directly facing the main door or bed. That way they reflect light, not shadow. Dolls' unowned figurines. Old or broken dolls, especially ones picked up from outside, should be discarded, or better yet, brought to a temple for release. If children still use dolls, keep them clean and in bright spaces, never in bedrooms. Human-shaped figurines of unknown origin should not be brought home at all, especially in July. The home itself. Beyond single objects, the best solution is always to keep your home bright, clean, and ventilated. Open windows in the morning, light lamps in the evening, burn incense, play chants. A clear, light-filled home is the strongest protection against wandering spirits. From a Buddhist view, the deeper truth is this: the object is only the condition, but the mind is the root. If you throw away every forbidden item but still cling to greed, anger, and ignorance, it's like washing your face without bathing. You're still unclean inside. But if your heart is pure, even if one of these objects slips into your home, your sincerity and clarity will transform the energy. The elders said, "Worship sincerely and blessings come. Follow taboos and peace follows." But the Buddha went further. Blessing or not, it all depends on the heart. So the real protection isn't just tossing out 5 objects. It's cultivating compassion, filial piety, and good deeds, dedicating merit to ancestors and all beings. That's the only amulet that truly lasts. So, what about you? If your home happens to have one of these items, how would you handle it? And which remedy matters most in your view? Cleaning the house outside, or keeping the mind pure inside? What you should carry in Ghost Month. Avoiding danger is one side of the coin. But tradition and Buddhism also teach us to invite blessings, to carry small items that protect, boost yang energy, and give peace of mind during the unsettled 7th lunar month. As the old saying goes, avoid misfortune, and you'll be safe. Welcome blessings, and you'll thrive. Bodhi seed or agarwood prayer beads, the most common protection among Buddhists. These aren't just jewelry. They remind the heart to stay mindful. Each bead is infused with the essence of nature, surrounding you with a halo of clarity. A Buddhist verse says, "With a single thought of the Buddha, 10,000 demons vanish." Wearing beads keeps the mind steady and the spirit bright. A small pouch of salt. For centuries, salt has been a purifier. The saying goes, at New Year, buy salt. At year's end, buy lime. Salt symbolizes purity and endurance, pushing back corruption. Carrying a small pouch of clean salt during Ghost Month steadies the heart. Salt absorbs dampness, wards off impurity, and acts like an invisible shield against heavy energy. Garlic. Perhaps the simplest, most universal talisman. Folklore says the strong smell of garlic frightens away dark forces. Some families hang it by the door, others carry a few cloves in a pocket when going out at night. Beyond symbolism, garlic represents resilience and straightforwardness. Live firmly, and nothing can sway you. Lucky coins, or a blessed amulet. Traditional coins, especially the old round ones with a square hole, balance heaven and earth, circle and square. Carrying one in your wallet, or a protective charm blessed at a temple, brings a sense of security. Feng Shui calls this righteous metal energy, not destructive but protective, steadying. When blessed by monks, an amulet carries compassion that clears the mind of fear. A small bottle of clean water, so simple, yet often overlooked. Water is life, a purifier. Carrying a bottle of fresh water not only quenches thirst, it also symbolizes clarity. Each sip can be paired with a silent prayer. Namo Amitabha Buddha. As the Buddha taught, water cleanses the body, virtue cleanses the mind. A bottle of water is a reminder to live pure, inside and out. The beautiful thing is, these items are simple and easy to find. Nothing fancy at all. Their protective power comes from your faith and your kind intention. The object is just a symbol. The real strength is your sincere heart and a calm mind. Someone can wear Bodhi beads, but still cling to greed, anger, and envy. In that case, the beads are just jewelry. But a person who keeps a good heart needs only a pinch of salt to feel steady and safe. The elders said, "Walk in the dark often enough and you'll meet ghosts. But if your heart is bright, even ghosts step aside." Carrying protective items is simply a reminder to keep your heart bright, do good, and live upright. When the mind is at peace, every step is steady, and every journey goes smoothly. Which of the 5 protective items feels most practical for your family? Beads, salt, garlic, a blessed charm, or a small bottle of clean water? Do you already carry salt or garlic? Or have you ever received a peace amulet from a temple to feel safer on the road? Who's most vulnerable in Ghost Month? Group 1. People in poor health. In Ghost Month, it's not just about forbidden or protective objects. Certain people are more susceptible to heavy yin energy. Traditionally, folks said, when the body is weak and yang is low, wandering spirits notice. The first and most important group is anyone whose health is fragile, those who are ill, recovering, or physically depleted. Why? In feng shui terms, the human body is like a tiny house. When yang is strong, vitality is high, and yin can't break in. But when you're run down, your yang flickers like a lamp running out of oil. One small gust, and the flame wavers. In July, when yin is everywhere, those weak flames are easy targets for wandering spirits. Folk tales warn of this. An elderly person, bedridden, grows worse in July, murmuring as if talking to someone unseen. A sickly child startles awake, crying at night with cold hands and feet. Only after a temple visit and incense prayers do things calm down. People believe these are signs that spirits draw near, sensing low yang in the vulnerable. From a modern lens, poor health weakens the immune system and raises anxiety and fatigue. That uneasy state makes people feel something is there. So whether you view it spiritually or medically, those with weak health are genuinely more affected this month. Buddhism teaches, illness of the body is easier to treat. Illness of the mind is hard. If your body is unwell and your mind is fearful, you're opening the door to trouble. But if you care for both body and mind, even Ghost Month isn't so scary. The sick can recite the Buddha's name, listen to calming sutras, or light a stick of incense each morning to steady the heart. That's how you nourish yang from within and help body and mind stand firm together. There are folk remedies too. Place a small bowl of rice and salt under the patient's bed in July as a shield. Keep a small oil lamp lit through the night to sustain a flame of yang. Simple acts, but they bring comfort, deepen sleep, stabilize mood, and reduce fear. The body is a lamp in the wind. Protect it well, the elders said. In Ghost Month, those in poor health are exactly that lamp. Without care, warmth, rest, gentle practice, the flame can flicker. But with medicine, proper sleep, reciting the Buddha's name, and keeping a kind heart, that lamp can shine calmly through July. Does your family include someone whose health is fragile? Have you noticed their symptoms or mood dip each July? Besides medicine, what do you think matters most to keep them steady during this yin-heavy month? Group 2. Night owls. People who go out late. If the weak and sick are lamps low on oil, then night wanderers, especially in Ghost Month, are like small lights walking into the deepest dark. This is the second group tradition, and Buddhism both caution. Those who go out late in empty, shadowy places are more likely to be bothered by wandering spirits. Why? Nighttime is when yang recedes and yin rises. When the sun sets, natural light fades and the field tilts toward yin. Dark, deserted areas collect that energy. They're natural gathering spots for the unseen. If you're frequently out at those hours without protection or preparation, you're stepping into a higher risk zone. You've heard the saying, go out at night too often, and one day you'll meet a ghost. Beyond its moral meaning, people took it literally in Ghost Month. Avoid late walks past graveyards, three-way crossroads, lonely riversides, major taboos in July. Countless folk stories tell of a young man stumbling home drunk through a dark alley, hearing his name called, turning to see no one, then falling into feverish delirium, mumbling like he's conversing with someone invisible, only settling after a ghost-offering ritual. The belief: he lacked yang at a yin-heavy hour and got followed home. Feng Shui adds, the body carries yang, but in spaces saturated with yin, night, vacant lots, your yang is overwhelmed, producing chills and unease. That shiver can be a natural physiological response or a sensitivity to the surrounding energy field. Combine that with one of the forbidden items at home, and the risk of unrest climbs. Buddhism reminds us, an anxious mind is the gateway to suffering. Night travelers are already on edge. In July, fear grows, and fear itself invites darkness closer. The counter-practice is simple. Keep the mind bright, softly recite the Buddha's name, and avoid idle, frightening thoughts. With a clear heart, even the night feels safer. So if you absolutely must go out at night during Ghost Month, remember this. Carry a protective item: salt, garlic, or Bodhi beads. Don't go alone, and never cut through cemeteries, crossroads, or deserted areas. Don't call each other's names in the dark. Spirits may mistake the call as meant for them. If you feel a chill or sudden fear, silently recite Namo Amitabha Buddha and head straight home without looking back. The elders used to say, live with kindness and you'll meet kindness. Keep a bright heart and even spirits will step aside. Night travel is always risky, and in Ghost Month it's even more so. But if you carry a little light, both in your heart and in a protective token, then even in darkness, you'll walk safely and in peace. What do you think? Have you or your loved ones ever had a strange experience going out late in Ghost Month? And in your opinion, what brings the most peace of mind? Carrying a charm, reciting the Buddha's name, or simply keeping a fearless, bright heart? A complete journey. We've walked together through a long path, from the 5 forbidden items of Ghost Month: paper clothes for the dead, stored spirit money, sharp knives and scissors, old mirrors, and abandoned dolls, to the reasons these objects attract yin energy, drain fortune, and unsettle families. We've explored lessons of karma, how greed, anger, and ignorance lead people to hold on to unclean objects, and the way Feng Shui reminds us to keep homes bright and clean. We've also learned how to cleanse and let go, and which protective items to carry for extra yang energy and peace of mind. Looking back, the message is clear. Misfortune doesn't come from a cursed month, but from how we live, how we guard our hearts, and how we respond to tradition. If we cling, hoard, and let anger or ignorance blind us, trouble will come. But if we let go, keep the heart bright, honor our parents and ancestors, and live with compassion, then even in Ghost Month, families can remain safe, fortunes can flow, and blessings can endure. The elder said, blessing or curse lies in the heart, and the Buddha taught, when the mind is at peace, all is at peace. The key to surviving Ghost Month isn't fear or superstition. It's kindness, respect, right action, and nourishing yang energy through good deeds, prayer, and compassion. A closing wish. Before we finish, allow me to share a blessing with you. May this Vulan season, the season of filial piety, bring the light of compassion from the Buddhas to you and your family. May your loved ones enjoy health, harmony, prosperity, and clarity of mind. May your children grow in kindness, your parents live long in peace, your work prosper, and your home be filled with fortune. And may the wandering souls of this Ghost Month also find release, crossing over into realms of peace. If today's message resonates with you, please leave a comment. Do you believe that keeping a bright heart keeps your family safe in Ghost Month? Let's share this wisdom so more families can avoid harm and welcome blessings. And don't forget to subscribe so we can continue exploring Buddhist teachings, feng shui traditions, and the timeless spiritual heritage passed down by our ancestors. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Namo Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. Namo Medicine Buddha of Lapis Light.